Hello everyone, Robert Rambles here, and welcome back to WoW Classic TBC and our Tauren Warrior playthrough. Boy, that was a long maintenance day yesterday. Today is Thursday, the 28th for me, and yesterday the servers were down basically all day. I had actually planned to push really hard yesterday and hit level 70. So yeah, it makes sense that Blizzard had to have a extended maintenance to, I'm assuming, deal with some issues. Maybe they're injecting some stuff prior to pre-patch, so that on pre-patch day the servers aren't down for, 6 hours. That's kind of the hope, but pre-patch is still at least a couple weeks away. At least a couple weeks, no matter how you look at it. So yeah, we're back today, and I think my plan is still the same. I think I'm gonna push to get 70 today. Yeah, yesterday was kind of rough. It's always rough when you set a big goal for yourself and then things outside of yourself stop you from being able to get it done. Because, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to accept it, which can get really difficult sometimes. So I tried to keep busy. I went to the gym, did some chores around the house, and kept waiting and waiting, but every time I looked, they pushed the expected uptime of the servers back another hour. So they finally came up around 6 o'clock my time, and I just decided at that point to let our warrior here get some rested experience and to not bother logging in and playing him yesterday. So that's how that went. Let's make sure that we have a clean inventory here. As clean as we can get it. We are carrying around a lot of junk that I think have to do with quests that I've long since abandoned. I could probably go through and read each and every one of them eventually. However, when we hit 70, I'm going to be able to basically drop the quests that we have. That way, if I decide to do some questing for gold or rep, I can just go pick stuff up later on. That's probably fine. Let's get out here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of these dire wolves. We need to strengthen them. And sometimes that's going to tick them off, and they're going to attack us, because it's World of Warcraft. Of course they are. Hope you guys are doing well today. And I want to say thank you for clicking on the video and choosing to spend some of your time here. I do appreciate it. Yeah, see, this one got angry and attacked us. I have a feeling that they're probably all going to get angry and attack us. I've actually been spending a lot of time trying to work on my plan for when the Fresh Start servers come out and for Wrath launch. And yeah, I sat there with a notebook for like 3 hours the other day trying to figure it out and ended up tossing most of those thoughts out. Finally, what I've kind of settled on, and this is kind of subject to change, but I'm at a point where I'll kind of share my thoughts with you guys. I thought about doing polls and stuff, but ultimately, it has to be something that I decide, because if my heart isn't in it, if I do a poll or something like that, and I end up on a class or a faction that isn't really what I want, then it's going to be hard to stick with it or to care about it very much. So, I think that for the Fresh Start realms, we're going to go with a paladin on the Horde side. I know. We've leveled the Paladin before to 40. We could dust that Paladin off right now. We could get it to 70. It could go into Wrath. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to play the Paladin until it gets all the class changes for Wrath. And then when I do that, when I play the Paladin, I want to see what it's like from level 1 with all the class changes. And what I don't really want is I don't need 2 tanks here on Mankrik. Yeah, I don't need the Paladin, really, and the Warrior on Mankrik, I don't think. What I was thinking of for Mankrik eventually is probably getting a Rogue up, and maybe having just a DPS class. A DPS class that we can support with our main, as far as, like, getting it any catch-up gear it needs and stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking for Fresh Start. I'm thinking that I want to roll Paladin, and I'm thinking that it's going to be a Blood Elf. That's kind of one line of thinking. That's predominated my thought process so far on it. For our Alliance character that we're going to take, that we're going to do our Northrend questing, because I'm going to do the Northrend questing on Horde and Alliance. It's probably going to happen on Horde first. But we're going to do it on Horde and Alliance, and on the Alliance, I'm gonna roll a Death Knight for Alliance, and that's going to be on the Benediction server. The reason it's going to be on the Benediction server is with the Fresh Start realms, like why I'm not rolling Alliance on the Fresh Start realms, is because we're going to have to rely basically on sheer luck to end up on an Alliance-heavy server. It's either that or like wait to see if Asmongold is playing, and then go on whatever server he plays on because he plays Alliance. I don't really want to do that because usually those streamer servers, at least initially during like the launch and whatnot, they have long queues. And I don't really want to be somewhere with a really long queue. But that would be the only real way to kind of guarantee an Alliance side community. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process on it. Here, I'll actually do this quest instead of just like running around like an idiot. I'll actually click the buttons. It's really early for me today. It's not super early, but for me to be up and at it, it kind of is. Usually I'm still drinking my first cup of coffee right now, trying to get my brain to wake up. But since I couldn't play yesterday, I was eager to start it on things today. So yeah, that's why I'm not doing Alliance in the Fresh Start, is just the uncertainty of ending up on a Fresh Start server that's going to sustain an actual Alliance player base at Endgame or throughout the leveling process even. Without just literally looking at what WoW streamers who play Alliance are and where they're playing, which the only WoW streamer I know who plays Alliance is Asmon, so I don't watch a lot of WoW streamers, mostly due to just time constraints and then the fact that mainly just time constraints. Yeah, I don't have time. Oh, we didn't use the button again. Yep, you gotta use the button, Robert. We gotta strengthen these dire wolves. They're not gonna get strengthened by us just murdering them. I'm kind of curious what's in this. Oh, that's the cave that leads back. Yeah, I'm seeing like a giant cave, and I'm like, where does that go? Oh no, where does that go? That doesn't go back into Zangarmarsh. That's a different cave. That's interesting. I wonder if we'll be sent in there at some point. Does this cut through? Oh. Well, hello there. Yeah, there's Legion guys in here. Okay, good to know. Maybe we'll be sent in there at some point. So yeah, maybe Death Knight on Benediction, because it has an enormous Alliance population. It's like 23,000 Alliance and then 900 Horde. And that's kind of what you need, especially if you want to do any dungeons or any endgame stuff. You just need the big population to be on your chosen faction. There are a couple of servers out there that are split pretty evenly. Actually, the only one I really saw that was split super evenly was an EU server, Fireball. But when you get a server like that, it kind of becomes like a mega server, and then you're going to have queue times. So yeah, there are a couple of balanced servers out there. None of them are in US East, where I would like to play. But yeah. That's kind of the plan for that. And then right now I do plan to take our warrior right into Northrend. That's the plan for him. Obviously we're going to be 70, we're going to be ready. How much gear we'll have, I don't really know, but I'd like to have our bold set. That'd be nice to stride into Northrend wearing the bold set, or maybe even some raid gear, but we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, as always, it's kind of subject to change. I had other thoughts as well. I've been thinking a lot about the about our troll shaman and how I'm not really digging the troll shaman. I had a hard stop at the water quest, and that kind of gave me time to reflect about how I feel more about the character than about the class. I think I like the class a lot. I think the buttons are all fun. I guess I'm just having a hard time conceptually with the character. I really want it to wield a two-hander, you know, and be kind of like a magical warrior, right? But we picked a female troll, and their weapon swing animations, I guess I can just say that they're not great, okay? They're not great, they don't feel weighty, especially the two-hander. Like, the one-handers are okay, but, you know, the one-handers are tiny, so it's fine. But the way that the trolls swing their two-handed weapons is a little bit weird. It's like someone swinging a two-handed weapon that they have never held in their hands before and have had no instruction on how to use. So it just seems a little awkward. And I'm thinking if I had gone with Tauren Shaman, or maybe even a male orc shaman, then the animations for the weapon swings and whatnot would probably be a little better. I think a troll shaman would have been great if we were doing like an elemental shaman, or if we were gonna go full healing. But I think for an enhancement shaman, I would really want either a Tauren or an orc. So my other thought, you know, besides Blood Elf Paladin, was, well, maybe we level up a shaman on the Fresh Start realms. And make it a male, and make it an orc or a Tauren, something that can wield a two-handed weapon convincingly. And not convincingly, but just like in a way that looks good. Because I think the Tauren weapon swings and the orc weapon swings are just probably better than the troll weapon swings. That's how I feel about it after watching the troll swing its two-handed weapon for a while. Yeah, so that's kind of where I am on that. Obviously, nothing is set in stone yet, but I'm starting to get some of these ideas out. And hopefully, in the 2 to 3 weeks, I'll have a more solid plan. But I'm 99% sure right now that we're going to be on the Horde side for the Fresh Start. And that the Alliance character we play is probably going to be a Death Knight. And it's probably going to be on Benediction server, which is a US East Alliance heavy server. We have Pagel that we were playing Alliance characters on. The difference is Pagel has about 9,000 active Alliance players and like 1,000 Horde players, and Benediction has like 23,000 Alliance players. So when I look at that number, I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to have an easier time getting into dungeons and stuff with 23,000 players. The other possibility is that there might be queues still. There might be small queues with those kinds of numbers. So we'll just have to kind of play that by ear. That being said, like, I get up and play pretty early in the day, and I don't often play while I'm leveling. I don't often play during prime time, so I'd probably be able to avoid queues naturally. Now that you have strengthened the wolves and the Jagged Ridge's defenses, perhaps we can focus our attention on more deadly matters, such as the ogres. Dude, I've been fighting ogres the whole time I've been here. Where have you been? You've done a good job in aiding us here. We could use the help of someone capable like yourself, should you decide to stay. Okay, let's take the shoulders to sell them. Oh, he doesn't even have an ogre quest. He's just like, hey, help us with the ogres. Yeah, we did all that. Why would he say that? Maybe that was just his, like... No, it's not his initial dialogue. That was part of the quest turn-in. So weird. Okay, we're gonna get out of this area, and we're gonna head to the north and see what's going on up there. I mean, at one point I had a bunch of different combinations written down. I've been very indecisive about all this, if you haven't noticed. I'd also thought to level a mage. I thought all kinds of things. So I kind of gravitate back to what I know I like. I know I enjoy the Wrath era Paladin a lot. I enjoyed it so much that it became my main for a very long time. It was my main all the way through BFA, and I took it into Shadowlands too. Didn't do any real raiding on it after Legion, but it was the class that I played, that I fell in love with the class during Wrath of the Lich King, so it was literally the class changes that made the class for me, because I had played plenty of Paladins before that, and I had leveled them to a certain point, and I always got to that same point where I thought, okay, these buttons are getting awfully boring, and I'm level 30 or 40, and they're not getting better. And I remember getting on the Paladin after the class changes and thinking, wow, this feels totally different. This feels a lot more exciting. And I don't know if I'll have that same reaction this time, but I know it is one of the most changed classes going into Wrath, and yeah, I think that's what I might do. We're trying to get up here. It looks like there's going to be like a dirt ramp or something. If we come over here to the east, through this little canyon, should be able to find a way up. Well? Huh. Yeah, maybe back here. This place it's interesting. I can definitely see why some people would avoid leveling here. The terrain does slow you down quite a bit. It's very interesting though. I like the zone a lot aesthetically, but I can definitely see why people don't often level through here. I don't think this one has... Oh, this one does have a flight point. That's the good thing, I guess, is at least all the little hubs have a flight point, so you don't have to go down these mountain trails multiple times trying to go back and forth. Let's grab that. And, these guys are druids? Yep, they look like it's just a group of druids. Maybe it's the Cenarian Circle. Yeah, Cenarian Expedition. We have to be closer to the target. Little Embers. Northeast of here, on the plateau above us, lies the burnt ashes of my ancient home. A great wood flourished there before the Burning Legion sent their imps to burn us away. So many died that even centuries later, my tired old heart hungers for revenge. There are too many of them for us to reclaim that land, but you could make them afraid. I just love instilling fear into things. It's my favorite pastime. From the ashes, if you follow the road east and up the side of the mountain, then turn north, you will come to my long-lost home. Once there was a wood there, its name forgotten. Long ago, the Burning Legion summoned scorched imps and other creatures to flame. Okay, of flame. My home was destroyed. You told us all this. I've saved some ironwood seeds that could be planted in fertile volcanic soil. Their magic is strong. Do this for me and I will share with you the treasures of a forgotten age. You'll share with us the green items of a forgotten age. Perfect. Yeah, that's... Well? Is this better? Is this green better? It's got more armor. It's got more block. It's got less stamina by a couple, but it has a bunch of strength. It has increases the block value instead of defense rating. We lose defense rating and block value. Okay, I don't think this is going to be better. I don't think so.
What brings you here?
A time for negotiation. When we arrived in the Rune Weald, the worm cultists were keeping themselves to Blackwing Coven. Through the tunnel to the west, now they are encroaching upon us here. I need you to find the worm cultist overseer. He's known to make a regular patrol between their various camps in the Rune Weald. Negotiate with him. Let him know that there's room for compromise, but that we will not condone or allow the wholesale slaughter of the wildlife, nor the felling of all the trees. Yeah, he's probably not going to be cool with that. Something tells me that we're going to just kill that guy instead of negotiate with him. Creating the pendant. The Erakoa of Rune Weald elevate from their flock of harbingers of Ravan, the heralds of their god. They believe that the harbingers watch over them from the sky, where they receive the teachings of Raven, and descend to pass his message along. The harbingers hold a powerful sway over the souls of the Erakoa. They use magical pendants which we need. Attract one of the harbingers by slaying its flock and taking their claws. Place the claws upon the altar to get his attention. Dismember his friends. Put them on the altar to piss him off enough to have him fly down and attack us. Got it. Seems normal.
Hi. What is nature's call?
Culling the wild. The number of atrocities committed by the Burning Legion is countless. Even as we speak, they send their legion forces against the creatures of this land. Helpless to defend against their power, they fall one by one. Help me stop these crimes of nature. Help me stop these crimes of nature, destroy all which they corrupt. Am I having a mental problem here? Or does this sentence kind of make no sense? Ramblehoof, help me stop these crimes of nature, destroy all which they corrupt. Ramblehoof, help me stop these crimes of nature, destroy all that which they corrupt. Is there just need to be a comma here? Help me destroy these crimes of nature, destroy all which they corrupt. No, it wants me to kill Scalewings and Daggermaw and Corruptors. This is weird. This is why you need to send your writing to an editor before it gets implemented in your game, regardless of whether you're in 2007 or 2022. Because an editor is going to bring this back to you and they're going to be like, what exactly needs to happen with the sentence to make it make sense? And then you're going to go, oh, yeah, I forgot a couple words. Or I forgot a comma. Whew, okay. See, that's why they need someone like me in their alphas. Because I will actually go through and I will read every quest. And then I'll be able to find things like that, where you have just blundered your sentence, or you don't have a comma, or it's a run-on, or it literally doesn't make sense to read it out loud. And I don't think they have anybody testing the game that way, to be honest. I think that most of the people that they invite to test the game, I think they read a few of the quests, but I think for the most part, they're engaging with the gameplay and not doing like a line-by-line read-through of everything. So yeah. That's definitely something I would love to do. A line-by-line read-through of all the quests in Dragonflight. Just to make sure that, you know, when everybody else gets their hands on them, that it's well-written and that it can be read and that it makes sense. Because there's nothing more immersion breaking than struggling through a quest and realizing that no matter how you struggle, it's just written badly. Alright, what do we have here? Negotiations with the Overseer complete. Huh. Cool. It said he had a path, but it's marking it with little magnifying glasses. This is going to be a fun one, isn't it? Is finding this guy going to be a super pain in the ass? I'd like to do what this person's doing. They're fighting guys. Can we fight guys? Okay, yeah, I don't know about this one. Usually when it's somebody that's on a path, the Questie draws like a little line for you to follow. And in this case, it's certainly not doing that. Let's come over here and we'll just work on these guys for a little bit. It almost feels like there's just not a lot to do here. Maybe it's because of how narrow and small the space feels. I don't think the zone itself is actually small, but it's definitely made to feel that way. Oh yeah, let's just let him run off into the fucking camp and summon 18 guys. I don't know who he's coming back with, but he's coming back with some help. There was a bird here, right? You guys saw the bird, didn't you? I don't know where the bird went. That was weird. That was a little bit strange, yep. They've got all these pets. Just kind of cluttering up their questing area so that we don't need these basilisks, but we have to fight them anyway. It reminds me of the owls back in Shadow Moon, which was incredibly annoying. These guys are not as beefy as the owls were, but kind of the same concept. These Arakoa are always hanging out with other creatures that are just kind of nearby, that aren't acting as pets, but they're friendly with the Arakoa? It's a little weird. Oh, these guys are running like super fast. Like, as fast as in like at a high amount of health. And oh, they're coming here and they're summoning this angered protector. And then that thing disappears when they die? So strange. What in the world is happening here? Use 6 claws to summon the Harbinger. Okay, we need 6 of them. We need to get hamstring somewhere we can use it. That would be a good idea. And then they're also hanging out with the worm scale poachers, which is just really odd. You'd think that these Arakoa would probably be aggressive against any humans or humanoids they found in their area. Very weird. I love how all these guys are like, for some reason, they're heading right over into this corner where we're hiding. It just seems a little random for him to do. Look at this guy's coming right over here. Like, why is he coming over here? What's he doing over here again? I mean, we can definitely fight him. No big deal there, but it just seemed weird. Both this guy and the guy back here started angling right towards us as we backed ourselves into this tree. Seems a little suspect. Okay, how many of these things do we have? We have, 1? No. Shit, where did it go? Here we go, 3 of them. 3 more to go. Guess I should be paying a little bit more attention to my health than I have been, which I haven't been paying attention to my health at all. But apparently it would be a good idea because they're hurting us over time, over many combats. It's amazing, but they're doing it. Yep, that's great. That's, of course you would then summon both of them, right? It's like we couldn't just aggro the one. It had to aggro both of them. Makes sense. Alright, that should be 6. Now we have to fight our way back into the center of this little island, or little lake here. Koi Pond, or whatever it is. Let's go ahead and we'll get some potions going, and then we will get all of our health back before we summon this guy down, I guess. Alright, and he is dealt with. I still don't know about this quest. We're gonna run back and we're gonna check all these spots and just kind of see. But the way it is, it doesn't really seem like we're gonna get this one done. Yeah, Overseer Nuar. Okay, he is right here. Okay, we got really, really lucky. He is doing a path. It's weird that Questie is not, Negotiations? Negotiations? Allow me to make our stance perfectly clear. We are a free people, able to do whatever we want and come and go as we please. The Cenarian Expedition does not own this mountain range. There will be no negotiations. Now go back to the Druids and tell them that we will continue to do as we please. Okay. And then they'll send us to kill you. So, you know, you've been warned. I'm surprised that there wasn't an option to kill you, like, right away. So, that you got more of a chance than most people get in this game.
What brings you here?
Whispers of the Raven God. At Grisnoth, totems left by the oracles of the Raven enabled the Arakoa to hear the word of the Raven. Unfortunately, the language of the Arakoa is indecipherable to us. Use the Harbinger's pendant, we can understand it. You will be able to take the souls of the Arakoa to understand their language. You will be able to take the souls of the Arakoa to... I have to take their souls? To understand their language? We can't have somebody decipher some runes or some chicken scratch? I have to kill them and take their souls to understand their language. While you are suffused with the Arakoa spirit, you can visit the totems and understand their message. I'd also like to be able to let Blizzard know when their quest writing is just unnecessarily murdery. That could be feedback too. Can we be more clever and less murdery? That's what I would ask of all writers. Can you be less murdery and more clever in how you describe and create objectives? What? They dismissed you and your proposal out of hand? This is outrageous. We go to them in good faith and they turn you away without even trying to come to a compromise? Well, we'll see about that. And a time for action. We will not stand idly by while they decimate the ruin world around us. Our first priority must be to the trees. I want you to go back out into the world and deliver a very different message for us. I want you to slay every one of their hewers that you come in contact with. If they will not listen to reason, perhaps they will listen to a more assertive method of persuasion. Yeah, usually murder will get people to listen to you one way or another. So let's do that. Who are you? Samia Inkling. I'm here at the behest of my master, Baron Sablemane, to help the Cenarian expedition with its worm cult problems. Baron Sablemane. Who is Baron Sablemane? I feel like I know this character's name. Sablemane wasn't the one dragon guy we help in, was it the Blasted Lands or Searing Gorge? I'm something of an expert on these things. Yeah. Huh.
Safe travels.
Sablemane. I'm gonna look that up.
Hello.
Poaching from the poachers. Pardon me, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation with Chon. I'd like to help. I'm studying the Blackwing Coven and helping the druids in their dealings with them. I'm very interested in acquiring a few of their dragon whelps. It would help us to gauge exactly what we're up against by understanding that which they revere. But first, we're going to need to acquire some nets. I noticed that the worm cult poachers out in the Rune World have an abundance of them.
Farewell.
Baron Sablemane, yup. Pretty sure dude turned into a dragon at the end of his quest chain. Okay, it doesn't look like the broodlings have the full health of a mob, so that's good. We can kind of rush in and finish them off before taking on the poacher. They do have nets. And we need to get the hewers, so we're killing the hewers and we're fighting the poachers for their nets. And, you know, I was just complaining about how we need more stuff to do in a small area, and now we kind of have that. Thanks for the random guild invite. But no thank you. Lich Brigade Crusaders. You would be the Lich Crusader Brigade. Yeah, it would be better if you were the Lich Crusader Brigade. Oh, hi there. I like how the hewers are wielding like really awesome looking axes and not just like some generic stupid looking axe. Oh, whirlwinds, huh? Guess I should have moved out of that. I am going to go ahead and make some bandages here and drink some coffee while that goes on, because it would be really nice to have bandages. And you know, as I think about it, the one thing that kind of like holds me back from the Paladin is I guess on the Paladin, like, I'm not going to tank on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm either going to tank on the Warrior and I'm going to tank on the Death Knight. I don't want to have 3 characters that I'm going to tank on. We could go heals on the Paladin, obviously. That's always an option, just to go heals. I don't know how I feel about healing anymore. I've kind of talked about this a few times already in various episodes. I healed for a long time. Sometimes healing is just relaxing and enjoyable. Other times it can get boring, right? It can get boring. The other thing it does for me that I kind of think about is like when you're healing, you are super focused on the health bars of the people in your group. And then you're staring at the area right around your character to like know when to move out of effects and stuff. You're not doing a lot of like looking at the game, looking at the fight, looking at the room. And that's kind of what I found for me on healers is like when I'm doing like a solo rotation, I've kind of trained myself to not always focus on my hotbar. But even that is still work sometimes, but especially like as a healer, I feel like you focus down there a lot. I usually keep my healing bars right here at my feet. And that is so I can see ground effects that go off, because I'm not usually able to look up, look at the enemy, and take in everything that's going on, because I have to be super fixated on who's going to need to heal next. And I don't know if I want that experience for myself. That's a tough one. Then again, the thing I like about being a healing paladin is that you pretty much just get handed all of the healing plate, because no one else needs plate with plus heal on it. So that's always good. It's easy to get it geared up. Whereas if we're on a shaman, even if we're healing on a shaman, well, it's kind of the same thing with shaman healers, right? Like, nobody else needs chainmail with spell power and heal on it, do they? No. So they're kind of in the same boat. They use very specific gear that nobody else really needs. Like, we're not going to lose a roll of intellect plate gear to a warrior. And we're not going to lose a roll of, like, intellect and spell-powered mail gear to a hunter. Although, well, no, they don't need spell power, but I mean, a hunter could still use intellect, right? Because they have mana. That's going to be a bigger mana pool. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. However, like, the other part of that is, like, although I don't think I would want to heal, I don't think I would want to tank on the paladin at endgame, I would want to be able to tank dungeons while leveling up, especially on a fresh start server. I want to be able to run dungeons while leveling up, especially having the experience of how many of these guys are we going to have to fight? Let's do retaliation here and clean these guys up, shall we? Yeah, I want to be able to tank leveling up, and the paladin will definitely let us do that with ease. Those leveling dungeons will not be difficult for us to tank. Even if we are ret spec, I think we can do it just fine. Obviously, like on the shaman, we could heal, but I have found that I just am not excited by the idea of healing. I would rather tank, and if not tank, I would rather DPS. Because at least DPSing, I can get my rotation down, I can get comfortable with the class, and then I can look at the game. And I don't have to look just at people's health bars. Okay, there we go. A pile of bodies later, and we can eat. What have we got left here? 8 hewers, and we need a few more nets. As we go here, I'm kind of getting the feeling that we're not going to have enough quests in this zone necessarily to hit level 70. Just a feeling I have that even with the experience buff, it's not going to be enough. What I might do then is I might run some dungeons. Unfortunately, the thing I need to run most, as from like a gear perspective, is set the calls, and we've done set the calls so many times already. So if I get to a point where we have like a few dungeon runs we can do to get to level, I might do a couple of dungeon runs on my own. I might do set the calls a couple times. And then kind of for our last dungeon to get us to cap, maybe we'll do something more interesting. We'll see how the questing continues to go here. But yeah, I'm starting to get the feeling that we're not going to get hit. We're not going to get 70 through the quest here alone. That something more is going to be required. We could always go back to Shadow Moon. I mean, I talked enough about how I kind of feel about Shadow Moon. It's probably a really cool zone story-wise. I wish I can get into like the ambience of it a little more, but it's just so dreary. I just haven't been in the mood for it. Well, this is going to be interesting. Let's take out both of the whelps first. Oh, they both ran. I like that Victory Rush does not have a cooldown on it. Like, you can proc it back to back to back. That makes it really useful when you've pulled multiple enemies. He backed up, and then he did not even get a shot off. He did not know what to do. he netted us, backed up, and then got really confused about what was supposed to happen next. This is the last hewer that we need. Let's try to pull him back here. Meeting note, you can't carry any more of those items because, Robert, you've picked this up and didn't notice it. The cultist dropped this note, which apparently was to be delivered to Overseer Nuar. It is signed by someone named Cultist Darkscale. It is likely that the Tree Warden Chon will be interested in looking at this. Alright, perfect. Let's get these turned in and see where that gets us. We also have another questing hub down here in the corner that we haven't been to yet. I'm assuming we will be able to work our way back here. I'm also wondering if maybe there's like some kind of connector to Netherstorm, or do we literally need our flying mount just to get into Netherstorm?
I've been expecting.
Let's take the plate shoulders to sell them.